Welcome everybody to Rainy Nights, the show where I come on with friends and we talk about motorcycle stuff. Tonight I have with me Joe the Mountain Jedi. I don't know how I got him on here,
Hey,
but
Al.
here he is. I guess I'm just lucky that way. So welcome to the channel, everybody. Tonight's topic is what I didn't know I needed to know about riding motorcycles. Stuff you wish you would have known when you first started riding that you learned along the way. So tonight in the chat we have Serenity Kitty, Dry Heat Doug, the Wife Unit, and Gmar Rides. So welcome in everybody. So Joe, everybody knows who you are, but just give us a brief synopsis and tell us what you're doing here.
Uh, Step one, world domination. No, wait a minute. My bad, wrong list. No, I mean, basically, I'm the old weird bike guy at the Ride Factory in Ybor City / Tampa, Florida. And to top it all off, basically lifelong gearhead, motorcycle junkie, crash test dummy, ballistics implement. Yeah, pretty much a little bit of everything. So there's that. But I've worked at several dealerships throughout the years, and an independent shop is for people like us that have. I mean, I don't know about. I'm not going to speak for everybody here, but for people that have been in the industry for multiple years at this point, there's a vast difference between the mindset and brain space between a dealership and an independent shop, and I function in that environment a whole lot better because that's where the real people are and not the cardboard template sales brochures are. So yeah.
I hear it. I'm reminded of that every time I need to get something for my bike that I don't want to spend HD money on, as in $100 a part. And
Right.
that's something your home shop can do. They can find you the best parts without having to make sure that it's a branded, what they want you to buy stuff. So well, I guess you'll kick this off. What would you like to have known about motorcycles and motorcycling before you actually started? I need to close my Slack. Hold on a second. Okay.
What would I like to know?
So I'm going to kick this off with mine. One thing I wish I would have known a long time ago was you need a separate helmet for winter than you do for summer. I got a wide awakening of that today. Oh yeah. Today, as it turned, it's been like being in the 30s, 40s, 50s for the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 months. Today we got a blistering 90-degree right after the rain temperature, and it was so hot inside my helmet. It was actually, I could feel the sweat dripping out of my helmet down the back of my neck, and then realizing the helmet I just bought had one little vent, and that's all it had. It was perfect for winter. It shut out all the air, and now that it's 90 degrees again, it's still shutting out all the air. So I will be going back to a helmet with 5 vents in it instead of just one. So Joe, what's it for
my
you?
helmet that I wear? Well, my helmet that I wear the biggest majority of the time. A lot of people look at me like I'm weird or something because I actually wear a dual sport helmet, and the reason I like that is because it's got good ventilation. You've got good peripheral vision out of it because it's got a real big eye port. I've got a weird shaped head and it fits me good. So yeah, there's that. But like I said, mine's a dual sport, so it's got a hard shield that rotates down in addition to the peak that comes off the top of it. And I've got a modular helmet that I'm kind of new to. This is actually my first modular helmet, but I've had it for 6 months now, something like that. And I'm still kind of trying to come to terms with it. As far as winter helmets goes, the modular is a better helmet for me because for one, it blocks out more air than what the dual sport helmet does. But the downside is it's not vented nearly as well, and it's not vented in the right places. The modular that I've got, it's got very minimal venting through the chin bar up onto the face shield. So if you're stuck in traffic, you're still cracking the face shield open, or else it fogs up on you. And I'm not really a fan of that. I think they kind of missed the mark on that.
I think we're gonna have to log out of Slack here. It keeps
Like,
popping up. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, man.
So I'm on the Slack with Indy Ridge, and their Slack keep popping up on my feed, so I have to shut it down. Okay, we should be good now. So as you were saying, you were at a stoplight and it was foggy, and
Well, not just at a stoplight. I mean, during wintertime when it's kind of cool outside, that that modular helmet that I've got, if you're going at speeds basically below 50 mile an hour, if you're on any kind of a bike with a windshield on there, it fogs no matter what you do. So, I've got a just a traditional barn door windshield on the Roadstar, and it blocks off enough air from you to where you it'll fog if you're doing under 60 mile an hour. Let's put it that way. If I'm on Cletus, the ZX11, your head's up in the airflow and it's not that much of a problem. But Cletus ain't that great of a winter ride. So yeah, there's that.
so what else do you wish you would have known before you got into motorcycling that you didn't know now?
You know, Me and the wife unit were joking about that the other night whenever we were talking about doing the show tonight, and I'm like, how in the hell do I answer that? I started crashing my brains out on a motorcycle when I was 4, man. Back then, all I was like, motorcycle, cool, go fast, don't crash. Crash sucks. But man, if I had to say one thing about it, it's that it's a combination of ass burn and hand fatigue, because you never think about it, especially when you're first getting into doing distance riding or any kind of a ride where you're spending an hour plus at a stretch in the seat. But if you don't kind of pregame for that, like basically if you wear the wrong pair of pants or something like that, it can make a huge difference between, hey, this is cool, to, oh my god, I can't feel nothing right now. But that, and also the whole aspect of hey, loose and floppy stuff, that's not always a good thing even during summertime, because if you've got a jacket or something like that that's catching in the breeze and just flop 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 and everything, well, you do that for an hour and it gets on your nerves. I found that out the hard way because my brilliant self, I had to transport a 250 Ninja for a friend of mine that was moving. And if you guys have got a state map handy, or if you know the general layout of it, I'm originally from Northwest Arkansas. Call it the Fort Smith area. It's right there where Interstate 40 crosses from Arkansas into Oklahoma. So I ride this 250 Ninja, me, my chunky self, and I, from Fort Smith, Arkansas, down to Stuttgart, Arkansas. And
Can you say that again?
Stuttgart.
Stuttgart.
Here I am. I'm already getting it from the peanut gallery. I can't help that you speak vanilla. But, like I said, my dumb self, it's warm. It's summertime. Well, summertime-ish. It was late spring. But at the time, I was wearing like a hoodie or something like that. And, man, by the time I got down there, the back of my neck and the backs of my shoulders were just totally numb from that thing flopping in the breeze like it was. And a lot of that stuff wasn't even highway, it was back roads and stuff, because this was, back in the dark ages when we still had a 55 mile an hour national speed limit. It was right on the ass end of that. So we strictly adhered to posted speed regulations.
Every day.
Yeah, we're going to stick with that.
So I polled the audience today at work, and one of the guys said the guy now has a custom Sportster with a 1250 kit on it with high mids and drag bars and a Springer front end.
Okay.
That's his first motorcycle. And he wished he would have known before he got that motorcycle that form and function are better than fashion. Because when he first got the bike,
right.
He thought it was absolutely awesome. He's in his low 40s, and now he's decided that his back, his knees, and his hips cannot handle a high mids and a drag bar. So, like all of us, I mean, everybody who knows, they have this idea of what's cool. When we were, in high school, the Hurricane was cool. The Ninja was cool. And then once you start riding them and you realize, yeah, they're cool for riding around town, but you can't get them on the highway. I think once you make that transition where you start wanting to take things further and further and further, you realize the things you thought were cool are not practical. So, and I'm sure somebody told him this, but yeah, it's just something you wish you would, I guess, would have gotten forced on you a little more before you spent a whole lot of money for something you can't use. Basically.
Yeah, I can totally get on board with that. You remember back in the late '80s, early '90s when everybody had the nuclear tiger stripe / Jerry Garcia badass trip graphics on every piece of gear they owned.
Mm-hmm. The Taco Bell stripes.
Yeah, there's some regret there. Taco Bell stripes. You ain't lying there, man.
I can't see an old Kawasaki with the orange and green and black and white stripes without thinking Taco Bell. But it was, what was it, the Hurricane and the
one that never gets old. One that never gets old is the 92 and 93 GSXR 750 1100. As trapper keeper ish as they are, I mean, they look gorgeous.
Oh yeah. Let's see who else is in the chat tonight. So Drew stepped in. Jake from State Farm has gotten in. Serenity Kitty was already here. Buck Brown and Crash. And Adventures of Key Fob. Welcome, guys. Throw your stuff down in there. Of course, the wifey unit says she wish she would have known the speed of an African swallow. Always a good one. Yeah, there's lots of stuff. Something else somebody told me today was I wish I would have known people actually don't like you to be on a motorcycle when you're out riding on the highway, because they will try to kill you for no reason at all. Also true. I don't know what it is about people when they see you on a motorcycle, they get angry and mad. And they can be doing 55 on the highway, and as soon as the motorcycle passes them, now you offended them in some way. And they want to try to pass you again, and they want to prove that they're fast. I don't know. But yeah, it's just I didn't know it was a competition. Like the old saying was, I didn't know it was a competition. I didn't know I was competing against something here. I don't know. There's lots of things. Yeah, my big thing is the form over fashion thing, and my seat. So I wish somebody would have told me how cool and comfortable a sheepskin seat was back when I thought they were the dorkiest thing on earth. Again, before I started riding 500-600 miles at a time, I thought sheepskin seats were stupid looking. Who rides those? Some old people use sheepskins. And then now I've realized that they're very functional, and they're good in the cold weather and good in the hot weather. Keep you from burning yourself, like you're saying. Just things you learn along the way, I guess.
Dude, my old man, he bought into the sheepskin seat cover thing, hook, line, and sinker. And he, whenever we'd go on a distance ride, I mean, that'd be the first thing he'd grab. I can't do it. I can't deal with it. I mean, it does not matter to me. I mean, I can be on the bike for, a half hour. I can be on the bike for 2 hours. I can be on the bike for 6 hours. And it's literally like wrapping my butt up in a freaking hairy-ass blanket. I just can't hang with it.
Oh, I love mine. It keeps, in the summer, it keeps it cool.
That's one of those things, where it's potato.
And again, I guess it's form over function, but it's not function overall. It's what does it function for you? Just like some people love mids, some people love forward controls. It's what's comfortable to you. It's what's going to work for you, and I think that's probably the most important thing. Don't worry about what's cool. Don't worry about what's click at the time and bougie. You got to get what you're happy with. Yeah, I wish I could say I was happy with a full head of hair, but I just can't. So, unlike some of us, Joe, with a big full head over there.
I've done a job before upstairs, and trust me, it was not a pretty sight.
I think you have to grow into a bald head. I think it's not something that just comes naturally. I think it's something. I think after you start shaving your head, I think your head just kind of reforms itself, and then you're just the bald guy after that. My kids, my youngest kids, don't even know what I look like with hair. Dry Heat Doug says the sheepskin is mandatory in Arizona summer. You still have to wash it. You do still have to wash it.
I
I
don't
know.
know what she's laughing at, but she's over here off the side of the camera just about to pee herself.
She must be something good in the comments. Well, she can give commentary. I know she can't show her face, but she can give all the commentary she wants.
Uh, well, she's capable of doing just damn near anything. Whether or not you want her to, that's another story entirely.
Yep, keep Fob
Oh,
mother
man.
bald brother. He's got a good head for baldness too. I would have never thought when I was in my 20s and 30s, especially like my teens.
I was reacting to the comment about growing into a bald head.
Buck Brown, yeah, Buck has had an almost. He's got one of those army mohawks. It's not quite a full mohawk, but it's also not quite a jarhead cut. It's just like a half hawk. I did it one time in high school. I had a reverse
If I
mohawk.
had to describe Buck Brown's head, I would say it's probably it's a human being that's cosplaying as a kiwi fruit. It's the closest thing I could relate it to.
We're gonna have more people on later. I guess everybody's running late today. But anyway, so what's been going on with you, man? I haven't been able to actually go voice to voice with you for quite a while now.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Pull up a chair, get comfy. I mean, last couple of weeks we ran the gamut from dealing with stuff here at the house, and we're still dealing with that with the insurance company and trying to get a resolution there and hopefully some common sense will prevail there.
Ugh.
But we've had a bit of a change of personnel at the shop past few weeks. Shelby Daytona, he's no longer with us. And we got a new guy. His name's Drew. A lot of you guys that's over on the Discord, you may know it as Pro Tip. That's his handle over there. But I reached out to him and I'm like, hey, how about we give this a try? And so far it's working out great, man. I mean, he hasn't injured himself. He hasn't set anything on fire, so that's a plus in my book. But
Well, as long
That's
as
a-
he doesn't follow you.
well, this is true because I am kind of apt to throw things and let gravity take control. But between that and then the wife unit's work schedule, and we found out the other day that we have a leak inside the wall of our kitchen. That it's like, great, thank you, universe. One more thing that I did not need, but hey, it is what it is. So, oh yeah, had to go rescue my son off the side of the road and get him towed home night before last, and we're fixing to have to put starter number 2 on his truck because we figured out that it's got a little bitty spot where the wire rub going to the starter relay, and while he was going down the road, he didn't realize it, but he'd hit a bump just right, and all of a sudden the starter would kick in and it'd make this god awful noise. It sounded like somebody ran over a fire hydrant with a wood chipper.
So I just noticed it is the same Drew that's been on my channel before that you hired. I feel kind of
Yeah,
special.
it's that group.
I feel kind of special. Yeah, because he's been in here quite a few times. So, wow, my channel must be doing better than I thought. So
He's good people.
I am going to be leaning on you a lot for the
Oop,
Ninja
hey.
build. Yeah, she's a loud old lady. So
That's all good, man.
I did order a fuel filter. Hey, G-Mom.
Hey.
So I ordered the fuel pump and the fuel filter.
Hey, Lala.
I found one on eBay
Hello.
that's working for $250. So I went ahead and went hog wild and bought it. Now I just have to find a tank that's all in one piece with no holes in it.
Yeah.
I found a lot of $50 and $60 tanks that have holes in them. But I'm trying to find one that's complete with that still has no broken bolts in the screw holes. So still looking. So if you guys see a tank out there for a 650R, which is the same one that is on the crap. What do they call their 650s now? Damn it.
Oh,
Versus.
The 650 Ninja.
The Versus.
ER6N.
It's the
Yeah,
same one
Versus,
that's in
yeah.
the Versus, which is weird, but yes, okay. It is what it is. Bleak Rise, welcome in. Blake,
Blake.
Blake, if you've got a minute, you can jump in too. We need all the support we can get. All of my regular norms didn't show up tonight, so.
Oh, stop.
Well, I don't mean you. I know you were out riding for some reason.
Well, I'm the Abby Norm, so I'm here.
I'm thankful for anybody I can get. No, Gma, I know you're over there. It's still early where you are, so I feel special that you would stop your riding so early in the day while the sun is still out to come.
I did. Well,
to come help me out.
I was at a retirement party for a friend of mine, so yeah, you got me out of a little bit of day drinking. So thanks.
I'm still in
I'm
my.
so sorry.
I'm in my mid. Yeah, well, I had a couple of I didn't get to get the big beers today. We went to a hibachi restaurant and I got some Sapporos and real quick with some friends. I love spending time with my friends, and so at least I'll try to spend a little time with them. You know, you got to spread that love around a little bit. You know.
Yeah.
2-4 Julie Smith, welcome in.
Julie, how you doing?
I'm still trying to
Hi,
talk
Julie.
I'm still trying to talk Julie into coming on either on the Friday night with friends or doing an interview with me. And I think at one time I had her talked into it, and then I think she backed out. She stopped accepting my phone calls. I mean, they were collect, but still, I mean, you pick up for your friends, right?
Usually they're collect when you're in jail, so you know, probably a little bit of self-protection there.
Sometimes you gotta.
Well, yeah, but usually it's preceded with that little recording that says, "This is a phone call from the blank detention center. Do you accept the charges?"
True that. I've taken a few of those in my day, and made a few.
Yeah, well, you hung with the right
Yep.
crowd, so yeah.
Whatever.
We all.
Tomorrow is International Female Ride Day.
What? I thought it was last month.
No, it's in May. It's the first Saturday of May.
Okay.
I'm like, I kind of feel like if people can't figure out that they're supposed to be out riding every day, maybe they do need a day designated. I do not.
I always wonder about that. What is it? National Take Your Bike to Work Day? I mean, that's like every day except for the week between Christmas and New Year's because there's snow
Yeah.
around.
Because it's really cold and wet. Yeah.
So I got to work today, so it's been raining here for on and off for the last few days, and then today it just poured. And I got to work, and the guy goes, "Did you ride your bike to work today?" And I said, "Well, I thought about it, and then I did." And he's like, "Oh yeah, what?"
Yeah.
I was like, "I have rain gear. You know, I'm only going to be."
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can almost hear the record scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's. Granted, this year I've probably took the car a few more days than I did, for any time in the last 5 or 6 years. But this has just been a really weird winter. There's been so much more ice and snow this year than any other year. So, of course,
It's beautiful up here. It's in the 70s.
it's beautiful here too. Like I was just telling Joe, it's
Yeah.
stupid hot. Today's the day I realized I did not switch over to a winter helmet or a summer helmet yet because I have one vent on the. I have a Doberman and it's got one vent on it. In the winter,
Uh-huh.
it's perfect. It keeps you nice and warm. There's not a whole lot of drafting. But in the summer, it's also nice and warm and there's no draft. So, yep, time to switch helmets.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't know
my
about
new
the
helmet
scientific state of change of water you speak of.
did.
Jerry, welcome in, my buddy.
I used to, but I forgot about it.
If you guys haven't been
Hey,
over
Jerry,
yet,
what's happening, bud?
so on my YouTube, I have not a poll yet, but a questionnaire, and I'm trying to get some new names for this new Ninja 650. So once I get all the skins off, get the bike running, and start putting skins back on, I think the name will come to me. But I'm looking for some nominations. If you know a good name for a 650 Ninja that's been rode hard, put away wet, and probably wrecked. Also, I don't have a title on it yet, so I may have to get somebody that has a Copart license to kind of help me get that thing titled. Just saying, because it was given to
Actually,
me.
consider what it looked like when you guys rolled it off the trailer. The Petri dish would be a really good one.
I love that, dude.
That's a good one.
That thing was so nasty. I hosed it off. It cleaned up pretty good. I haven't taken the pressure washer to it yet, but I did remember this time to put bags over the intake before I started washing it. So, and on those Ninja, I know Joe knows this, but on those Ninja 650s, they point straight up inside the airbox. So if you're not careful, you're gonna fill your heads full of water. Absolutely nuts. And Drew's
Oh, I just got a text
man.
message from Shep.
Yep, Drew's bragging too about there being no winter in Florida. Whatever.
Did you have creepy crawlies and stuff in that thing? Or was
I
it
did
just
not.
general fun?
There was so much mud. The creepy crawlers didn't have anywhere to nest. So here's the story of the bike. The bike was being raced at the Memphis Speedway. They put it down, and as far as I can tell, whoever had the bike also had a bunch of other bikes they were racing, and the 650 did not take precedence. So they put it in a shed with a bunch of other stuff. Never restored it, and they actually started taking parts off of that one to try to restore another one, which is where the tank and the pump went, the fuel pump. So they abandoned it. Someone went and bought the shed,
Right. it
cleaned
became
out the
dumber.
shed. Yeah. But when they cleaned out the shed, that bike was in it along with a bunch of other. He said it was full of windows and car doors and a bunch of other, basically like, not junkyard scrap, but stuff that had been salvaged from a junkyard. So he said he had a title, but ended up not having the title. But when he cleaned out the shed, or when he cleaned out the storage, they put it out in a shed. It fell over at some point and got mud all over it, and luckily nothing got crushed, nothing got hurt, but it just basically just got covered in mud. And then when they rolled it out of the shed, it got more mud on it. So it basically just accumulated outside dust and mud and rain splatter mud and whatever. So it was covered like it was trashed. And that's probably why the guy gave it away. So
It's an
I'm not going to
extended
look at the
spa
map.
day. Got it.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it had cold days and hot days and steam days, and had a like steam bath and mud bath. And but luckily, I mean, for me, luckily, the dude looked at it and was covered in so much crap. He thought, I'm not doing anything with it. But and it took, like I said,
Nice.
it took a bath. The dude that I got it from said, yeah, I'm not sure if it cranks or whatever. You know, it doesn't work. It needs a battery. Needs this. Needs that. So I bought a $50 battery off of Amazon, put it in it. You know, cleaned it up a little bit, and it didn't crank per se, but it rolled over. So when I put that video on
Right.
YouTube, and the
Well,
guy,
that's step one.
yeah, and the guy told me, yeah, I didn't know it would crank. So I think he's regretting maybe now giving it to me, because he thought it would take a lot more work to make it roll over. But you know, the bike is going to get restored. Whether I can get a title for it or not, the bike is going to get restored. I'm going to run it. I'm going to do cool things with it and make videos on it. And if I'm lucky enough to find somebody, if it does have a salvage title, now here in Mississippi, it's not real hard to get a title for a bike that's not titled, as long as it's not stolen. If it is stolen,
Yeah.
basically you just have to call the insurance company. They have to declare it as a loss. You got a drill over there, lady?
It's my cat.
Your cat has
No,
a
I don't
drill?
have a drill.
Do you have your cat on a
No.
drill? Holy
I do not
crap.
have a drill. No, this black thing is my cat.
Weird.
He's huge.
But yeah,
I don't know
anyway,
where that sound
He's
came
a chunky
from.
floof.
He is
I think
definitely chunky.
Oh, that. Oh no, that may have been my phone. I got a text notification. My bad.
Oh, yeah, I just got a text from Shep. I think he's up in Portland.
so. What's going on with Shep?
I don't know, because I'm on this, so I couldn't check. Hang on, I'll look.
Well, now I feel bad.
That's okay. Hang on. I'll be right back.
All right, we'll stay amused while you're gone.
Okay.
Christian
Sure
Biker.
you will.
Christian Biker, welcome in. So anyway, yeah, I plan on this
Yeah.
weekend. I'm gonna tear it apart, take all the skins off of it, and try to get down to the spark plugs. That's the only thing I don't like about faired bikes with fairings, is that it's just, you gotta basically take off all the plastics to do almost anything. But I don't
Yes,
know.
no, kinda. Kawasaki designed the 650 Ninja a little bit weird in that respect, especially with the way the airbox goes around the front bodies. It's really, really tight underneath the gas tank on that. Sometimes it's kind of a pain. The rest of them, it's not too terribly bad though.
They did buy a spare set of skins, so I have this giant. It looks like a milk tote, but it's an oversized milk tote, and it's full of headlights and tail lights and wires and harnesses, and the big stuff, except for the tank, is all there. So the brakes are there, and the thing I was worried about was I couldn't find the brake caliper bolts. They're actually
Okay, I'm back.
They're like giant slide bolts, is what it looks like. But I found them all. So, and then the brakes are there, and they were saying the brakes didn't work. Well, what happened was somewhere along the way, somebody decided to pump the brakes when they weren't on the caliper, or they weren't on the rotor, and it closed the brakes.
So,
Yeah, that's
So-
not good.
So literally, I'm like, okay, well, let me look at this. So I took the top off the brake reservoir, got one of the plastic body tools, and started working it between the brake plates, and pried them apart. So I don't know. Eventually, I think that a shoe will eventually fall. The other shoe will eventually fall, and something will be wrong with it that I can't immediately fix at the time. But I got a bike that cost me nothing. So far, I've spent $50 on it for a battery, and I bought an external fuel kit, and everything pretty much has fallen into place. So looks like so far the only thing I really need to buy. I bought the battery, I bought a pump, and I need to buy a tank. So we're getting there. I'm lucky so far.
That's cool.
And then I have Joe to help me through all the hard
So have
parts.
you been starting to scour Facebook Marketplace for fire extinguishers yet?
No, I haven't. We have them at work. I'm not going to say. I shouldn't say this, but so I just got a promotion at work, so I'm pretty much the engineering maintenance manager. So let's say I have an unlimited supply of weird things in our shop, and we have to clean out our entire boneyard. So there's lots of parts and metal and things in the back there that need to be thrown away. So
Right.
I have an unlimited supply of stuff. Let's say. So I don't think I'll have a problem finding the thing we talked about the other day. This the not a flamethrower. So yeah,
Yeah, the pressure vessel. Yeah, there we go.
a pressure vessel.
Man, it sounds like I need to make a trip up to see you one of these days.
Come see me.
Dispose of some stuff, because I'm always bringing weird shit home.
Come on up. There's plenty of shit. Biker girl, hurry up and get in if you can. Trying to open the doors. Free Gma. Gma's tied up. She's checking on ship. All right. Are you in timeout? No, you're still on the sheet. Let me. Gma, can you not get in? Log. So you're on the screen right now, Gma. So go ahead and log back out and try to log back in. Let me see if I can log her out on here. Maybe that's why she can't get in. Ah. Y'all bear with me a second. I gotta save Gma. Okay. I have edited Gma. There is no more Gma. Okay, Gma, try to log back in now. Technical difficulties. If you didn't have technical difficulties, are you really having a live stream?
All right, so. Right?
Okay, we should be good now.
Usually my technical difficulties while I'm doing a live stream involves me dropping my pop or, setting my hair on fire trying to light a cigarette and not paying attention.
Yeah, your technical stuff is multiplied exponentially when you have extra people in the chat. There she is. We saved her. She's alive, everybody.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
No, I've got to get a Wi-Fi extender for out here in the garage because every now and then, I get the drive-through voice and everything on live stream and
Yeah.
stuff. But
It's annoying.
are y'all getting that, from me?
A little bit of lag, and then it catches up, so it's not bad.
I'm technically challenged anyway, so, who knows? I'm that person that forgets to turn my TV off
Well,
yeah.
you're better off than me, okay? I'm not technically challenged. I'm technically dumb.
Yeah, but you got the wife unit to help you too. I'm like,
If I can fix it with a hammer, I'll swing that damn thing all
oh
day.
yeah, I'm a big hammer fix-it person.
Well,
We used to call it Sportster tool at my house.
Right?
luckily I have a TV that turns itself off because
Yeah.
there's those nights that I decide I've worked all week. Damn it, I'm going to stay up tonight. I'm going to play video games, and 10 minutes later I'm asleep in the chair. So
Yep.
Right?
too bad. Alrighty then. All right, Gma. So
That's me. Whenever that's me a lot of times.
it's almost embarrassing when you get older and realize your body will fall asleep without you wanting it to. It's like an
Oh,
automatic
yeah.
function. But
Yeah.
all right, G-Mouse. So, what's your input on something you wish you would have known before you got into
That,
motorcycling?
that's open for interpretation, babe.
Before I got into something I wish I would have known before what?
Before you got into motorcycling, that you know now that you wish somebody would have told you sooner, or you would have learned sooner.
Well, I don't know if I can remember back that far, but I'll give it a try. Um, I'm going to say that long pants are a good idea at any point in time when you're riding a motorcycle. I can tell you about one time I hopped on my Sportster to move it from the front yard to the back yard. I had shorts on, and I had just relocated the coil to the side of the battery box, and the top of the coil was just about that far from the back of my leg. And let me tell you, that was a shocking experience. So yeah, pants are a good thing. And everybody laughed at that one. But that's my takeaway. Remember your safety gear. And I've been snarky enough the last couple of weeks on videos. I am not going to throw anything under the bus right now.
You don't have to throw anybody under the bus. You can just, talk your piece.
I mean, I wish I would have known how much I would enjoy cross-country traveling before I got so old that I have to accommodate all my aches and pains. I've just kind of gotten into the cross-country thing about 4 or 5 years ago. But if I would have been doing this instead of just riding around and a couple of cross-country trips, I could have been doing this a lot more. I don't know. So, yeah.
Do you remember this song? This was probably from 35, 40 years ago, and it was like a guy. It was a song, but it was like a talking song. He was addressing a graduating crowd, and he kept ending every verse with "Always wear your sunscreen. Don't forget your sunscreen."
Oh yeah.
I wish somebody would have told me a lot sooner. Sunscreen is not uncool.
Oh, absolutely.
And there are days you need it, and do it, and don't worry about what anybody. It's the things you used to laugh about, like the old man at the beach with the socks on and with the sunscreen on his nose and wearing. You used to laugh at those things, and now you're like, that's actually a pretty damn good idea. So.
Yeah, there's like so many things now that I'm like, used to be really stupid when I was younger, but now it's like, I don't really give a shit how it looks. That is so much more comfortable to do things that way now. So yeah, that's what I do.
There's a meme, and it's like a poster, and it's like, when I was a kid, I thought my parents were the stupidest people in the world. It's funny how smart they've gotten in the last 20 years.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah.
They just keep getting smarter. Reminds me of another joke.
Yep.
It's a dirty joke. I'll tell you offline.
I need to find that and email it to both of my children.
You'll find it all over the place. Just a biker girl, welcome in. Look here.
Hello.
She's got her "How can I help you" clothes on.
Hey,
Hey,
Hot and healthy.
How can I help you?
Oh.
Good evening. How can I help you? Say it. How can I help you today? Come on, say it.
Don't be such a pervert, Rainey.
I'm not. That's not perverted.
he can't help it.
You are.
That's not perverted.
You are.
How's that
Oh,
perverted?
whatever.
Gma, you have such a
I
dirty
know you.
mind. Get your mind out of
Uh-huh.
the gutter.
It's one of the reasons you keep me around,
I
so
know.
stop.
I was thinking y'all scared her off already. God.
No. Biker girl, welcome in the chat. We're just talking about stuff.
I'm gonna jump out and back in. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm having a problem on my side. I'll be back.
Okay, but we'll be waiting
Okay.
for you. I'm playing this over and over in my head, trying to figure out what I said was dirty, and I can't figure anything. What did I say dirty?
I don't remember.
I think your mind's just in the gutter all the time.
That's just my automatic rollback.
Yeah. That and put your pants back on.
It's a safe zone, okay? It works for me.
It's like a rubber district.
That's a good idea.
Is that the wife unit in the background? Come in and say hi, Amanda.
She can stick her hand on it and just wave.
Hi. Challenge.
Nope.
A little bit farther. A little bit more.
Oh, there we
Okay.
go.
That's better.
See? Proof of life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gma, keep your standards low. I'll never
Oh, wait a
disappoint
minute.
you.
Speaking of proof of life,
Amen to that, honey. Amen to that. This guy that I went and had drinks with today, just retired from a job driving truck, and I was sitting there chatting with him, and his wife was one of the first people that, in the last 10 years or so, that I went and took a long ride with. Her dad was in a nursing home down in California in Browley, right by the Mexican border. So she wanted to ride her trike down, and he wouldn't let her go by herself. So he's like, well, you got to take somebody else with you. So she asked me, and I've known them both for like 30 years, but not really hung out hung out all the time. So she asked me, and I was like, sure, I'll go. So I load a few things on the bike, and I was on the Dyna, so we take off, and I didn't have heated grips or nothing, man. I wish I would have known, and I didn't have any music either. So it was kind of a miserable trip. But yeah, that's one thing that would have been nice to know earlier. The value of having headphones or a cardo or some kind of music or entertainment.
yeah, definitely helps
Yep.
pass the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, slight sidebar here. Lala Stromboli, if you're watching this later on, here you go. Proof of life. She ain't killed him yet, okay?
Nice.
Just the tip.
For a second there, I thought that was one of Skittles' penises.
Oh shit.
It got too much chlorophyll to be an actual penis.
Joe, has Skittles hit you yet with her little penis Velcro covers?
With her penis, what?
Her penis valve caps.
Oh,
She
what a
keeps
bummer. I haven't got one of those.
she keeps a pocket of those, and she'll put them on your bike when you're not looking.
That's it. I'm going to have to go over in October now.
I can make those if you want. Just saying.
I could pee on your tire. That's close enough.
No, you
Do you
can't.
remember the translucent red vinyl that I was looking at a while back?
Wait, what?
There's a translucent red vinyl that covers.
Oh.
buildings. And there was a design that I was so tempted to use to cut out little dancing peens
Oh,
and
God.
just randomly put them on people who parked like a dick.
Yeah, that's not a horrible idea.
No, it's not.
Oh my
I don't know how
god.
much of that y'all caught, but
I caught
this
it
is
all.
what I have to deal with all day.
I love
Okay.
I
it.
think it's a great idea. We
Damn
could
it.
do that.
You're welcome.
We could start that. We can make it a thing.
Guns and Baggers, welcome
Yeah,
in.
let's cut out
New to the
1,000
channel.
starting out, and then we'll just mail them to all of our friends.
I'm for it.
Works for me.
I'm for it.
I'm slacking here. I haven't been keeping up with comments.
It's okay.
Sometimes I'm having too much
Say,
fun with the
what's
chat.
up, buddy?
Yeah, I'm
Miss
having too
you
much
too,
fun with the
brother.
chat, and I skip a lot of stuff. So let me roll back, see what people are saying.
I take my moderating shit seriously, man.
Do you?
I do.
I model myself
Why else
after
do you
you.
think I hurried home?
Because you love me.
Jeez.
Because you miss me. Because you're
Well,
dirty.
that too.
You're afraid I was gonna say something dirty. You wouldn't be here to watch me.
If
Police
you'd
me.
go away a little bit more, I'd be inclined to miss you more.
Don't go away, Matt. Just go away.
Exactly. I tell people that all the time, and they never do it.
I don't get to hang out with the people that I love, and the people that I don't like won't go away. It's
I hear you.
Julie says she wants one.
Yes.
So
I was working at the food bank the other day, and I almost hucked a can of pineapple at somebody because she pissed me off.
do tell. Ain't
Yeah, well, I might be able to because I know she isn't going to watch this. But I work at a volunteer food thing. So let's get this in your head. So we have two different types of people that come in. We have people that have a house, and we give them big ass box of food, right? And we have homeless people that come in, and you give them a smaller bag of food because they're walking around, and you obviously they can't carry a big ass box of food. So I have a guy that comes in, and he's living in a motel. Well, I know that although they have him in as homeless, he could use like some fruit or maybe a pint of milk. Well, so okay. So I go back to see what else I can find for him. Just a couple of little things.
Internet lag is killing me.
This person comes in and she goes, He has fruit in his bag. I'm like, it's a can of fruit. I looked. I would like to give him some apples if that's okay with you. Well, he's got fruit in his bag. I said, okay, so number one, take it out of my salary. Number two, I already talked to my nominal supervisor about this, and you're just going to have to deal. And I turned around and I stomped off, and on the way by, I picked up a can of pineapple. You know, I'm not really good at impulse control. You might have realized this about me by now.
Nope.
It was really, I was so hard put not to just turn around and huck it as hard as I could. But there were other people back there too, and I knew I might hit one of them. So,
Oh, Gima.
yeah. Oh,
Was it
the
you?
struggle is real.
Was you or somebody else was telling me that they went to a homeless? Well, they went to a place where they're passing out food, and they said you can't give chocolate to the homeless people because they don't have anywhere to go to shit, so they're going to shit on the sidewalk. So don't give them chocolate.
That wasn't me. I'd never say that. I think them mothers deserve all the chocolate they can
No, I
scam
think-
out of me.
Don't wait a minute. Don't they shit regardless?
Somebody told
They
somebody
do.
told me they went somewhere and they were told it wasn't the person that did it. They said they were told when the homeless people come in, don't give them chocolate because they have nowhere to shit, so they're going to go out and shit on the sidewalk.
Yeah, they're gonna shit anyway.
Like they're gonna shit, but
I mean, you could probably give them like a little doggy poo bag, you know, if you really wanted to be hygienic about it. You could throw that in with the homeless bag of food. So, you know, food in, food out. And maybe some toilet paper and some wet wipes. I don't know. I'm a problem solver.
you are a problem solver. Julie, you got to come on the channel. So Julie was either going to come on the channel or she was going to do an interview with me. So I'm still waiting for that, Julie.
And yes, Drew, he did have a can opener. I checked.
So anyway, so Just a Biker Girl, we are talking
Do it.
tonight
Just
about
do it.
the things you wish you would have known before you get into motorcycling. That you know now, you wish you would have known a whole lot sooner. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I am gonna piggyback off of what Gma said and say heated hand grips. Oh my God.
Oh, yes. World changing, aren't they?
Right?
Yeah.
10 years
Yeah.
earlier, I wish I would have had those.
Heated hand grips, heated seats.
Yep.
Heated hand grips for sure. The heated seat would be nice. I still don't have one of those.
Heated
but
seat is so
I
spectacular.
don't either.
I do have
Oh,
the heated vest that I can put on, battery operated, and then my grips. 100%.
Yeah.
I never had those when I lived in Wisconsin. I moved
Yeah.
out to California. I went out with a group ride. We went to the Grand Canyon, full on blizzard. It was unreal. It was 70 Harleys and Subarus zipping between us going down the interstate out to the Grand Canyon. And when we finally parked, I pulled in and I didn't think I could like let go of my handlebars. I didn't think I could even put my kickstand down. And
Yep.
the person next to me came over and took care of it. They're like, hop on my bike. I got heated grips. Just hold on. And it was so nice and warm. I immediately went home and had the heated grips installed.
Yep. You know, and to bridge on that one, the other thing that is really nice is up here. Well, in Portland, there's this guy, and he makes these things called, what are they called? Hippo hands.
Yeah.
Amanda Zitto uses them, and I have two sets. I have the big dogs and I have the little ones, but I used those when I went cross country to Florida, and they were amazing. It still didn't help when it was like 20 degrees out.
Mm.
That was just fucking cold. But I was in Georgia, and I rolled up to get a tire changed in Georgia, and some old fart pulls up on a trike, and he looks at me and he goes, looks at my hippo hands. He goes, "Don't you think that's a bit overkill?"
Oh my God.
Well, I heard it was going to get cold later. Don't you think it's going to help me any?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Can we-
I know.
That's awesome. I've been wondering how those worked. So cool
They
to
work
know that
really
they work
well.
They were good on
Yeah,
snowmobiles.
the bigger ones are the better.
great.
Go
Okay.
bigger.
Can we
Yeah.
just take a moment to say
Always.
how cool Amanda Zitto is?
Always. Yes.
She is the shit.
And
I went to her camp out a couple years ago. Yeah. And her food looked so good.
It does. We got the stickers.
Yeah.
We got everything. Oh yeah. Oh look, here's a sticker. You can't see it very well, but it says, "Just do the thing." It says, "Get out and do the thing," but it's in white, so you really can't tell in here. But
I even met her mom and her dad and her brother. It was such a great camp out. Some of the facilities were not quite all that. You know, if you're going to have a 3-day party with 100 people, get the shitters pumped out once in a while. But other than that, it was great.
well, the early Forgotten Angels campouts, they for two reasons. One, they didn't schedule them right. But the other one, they let people put their tents around the shitters. And then when the guy showed up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get to him, he couldn't get to him, so he just left. And I'm not kidding you. When I say they were overflowing, I'm talking above the seat. People were like standing. Oh, it was bad. It was bad, bad, bad. And so the next year, they told people, if you put your tent or your motorcycle in front of the shitters, we're going to move them. And if you're in them, we're still going to move them. So the next year they actually did wake somebody up and tell them, move your tent where the shitter. They held the vacuum truck where he could get in to get to the shitter. But dude, it was horrible. Then they didn't have the only toilets they had were the ones inside the trailer and the porta potties.
Yeah.
And they were in the worst spots. So yeah, it was pretty bad. It was very bad.
Oh no.
Dana got up, not kidding you. The guys really were just going behind the trees and peeing. Dana got up and told me, watch me while I pee behind the tree. And stand guard. Because she couldn't even get into the toilet. It was so bad.
Yep.
It was so bad. Ugh. Anyway. Hey, everybody. Here I am talking shit. All right, let's go back to Joe. Joe, what do you wish you would have known?
Well, I wish I would have known I needed a Wi-Fi extender for right here in the garage, because trying to keep up with you guys, honestly, it sounds a lot like talking to a busted speaker at a drive-through somewhere, and not a high fancy, drive-through like McDonald's or Burger King. I'm talking like
We like to listen to you well enough. We'll put up with it, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. But as far as stuff I wish I needed to know that I didn't know, don't try to kickstart a Yamaha XT660 when you're wearing flip-flops. I wish somebody would have stopped me before I did that, because that didn't end well. That hurt.
I've had a similar child experience.
Flip-flops. Kickstarting a bike with flip-flops. Well, we're out in the boonies, and I had my riding boots on, but I had a pair of shorts on. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to run up the trail a couple of miles. It's no big deal. I'm just going to put that around it. Well, you know how that part of your brain gets engaged as soon as your butt hits the seat, and you just and you just do. Well, yeah, that clicked into place, and I landed from a jump wrong, and it wasn't a big jump. I was probably 7-8 foot off the ground. No big deal. It wasn't enough to bottom the suspension out because I was on my motocross bike. But I had just got done welding extensions onto my foot pegs and sharpening them up to where they would grab my boots better. And whenever I landed from the jump, my foot missed the foot peg. My calf did not.
Ow.
It looked like I got into a fight with a cheese grater and lost badly. Because not only did I just sharpen the damn things up, the teeth on these things were, they're probably close to a half-inch tall, and there was a lot of them. So, shorts on an off-road bike, it's a bad combination there. Also, don't let your 4-year-old kid jump on the little dinky mini quad that you've got with the rationalization. Well, I've got a remote control where I can shut it down. They can drive faster than you can hit that damn button. Trust me on this one. We found that out hard. But oh man, this kind of feels like, hey, confess to all the dumb shit that you've done in the past. So I'm going through the mental Rolodex here.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't have that much time that I can talk about all those.
Limitations on that one thing hadn't run out.
Well, I've got tons of shit. Dry Heat Doug says he wished he would have learned how to do a proper once-over on the bike before getting on it, which Absolutely true.
I agree.
I wish somebody would have
Have to
told me a long time ago, check the oil, check the tires, make sure you have gas in it before you go. I think I'm going to ride to
Oh, yeah.
Texas today. Definitely, though, I wish somebody would have told me a long time. Because there's things, when you first get into motorcycling, you're afraid to disappoint people, but two, you want to look cool. So it's like,
Well,
I'm
yeah.
not going to put a cup holder on my bike. I don't need to stop and get water. I'm a man. I can ride for 5 hours and don't have to stop when it's 90 degrees outside. Watch me. Here I go. And the next thing you know, you got to put your feet down and your ankles don't work and you can't feel your hands and you're trying to squeeze the clutch,
Yep.
but you're not sure where it's at. And well, then you have disaster. So yeah, no matter how uncool it looks, it's more uncool being dead or dropping your bike.
Very true.
So make sure you take breaks. Make sure you get water. Don't be afraid to go poop in a public bathroom because otherwise it can get awfully messy. We're back to shit.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I learned in the military, all I need to take a dump is shade, and the shade's optional. So yeah, don't be afraid to take care of what your body tells you it needs, because things can get much worse if you don't. And they get bad fast.
Agreed, but
So-
so be able to differentiate between appropriate leaves and those that leave rashes.
Right.
What'd she say?
Now, one thing that I
Never
figured
wipe
out
with
after I
leaves.
moved down
Never
here in
wipe with
Florida,
leaves.
As far as dealing with
Yeah, no,
distance
don't do
in the
that.
summertime. One thing I figured out after moving down here to Florida, because I mean, I'm used to it being hot during the summer, but not like that for the better part of the year. Like if I'm going on a distance ride, what I'll do is I'll take a Camelback and I'll put water in it. And a lot of times, what I'll do is I'll either pack it full of ice first, or I'll just fill the damn thing up and throw the whole thing in the freezer the night before and freeze it. That way, I've got it there
Yep.
with me. Because there's a big difference between hot-ish water and water that's just a little bit cool, as far as how it maintains your mental alert status.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if you're drinking water that's kind of lukewarm, like if you've had a bottle of water in your saddlebag half the day, that don't do squat for you. But if you take a sip of water and it's fairly cool, or kind of on the cold side, I mean, it's kind of like a mini brain freeze, but it shocks your system back into being more aware and more alert of what's going on around you.
Yep.
Yep. I watched the thing the other day. A guy was at a dealership and he's like, what are some uncool things you can put on a bike? And somebody's like, oh, cup holders. Yeah, cup holders are stupid. Oh, Camelbacks.
First thing I put on mine.
Camelbacks are stupid. I'm thinking, I'm like, these guys obviously don't ride more than an hour at a time, and they don't ride in the summer. Just how the hell are you going out? And maybe they're doing beer hops. They're riding for 30 minutes, drinking beer, riding. I don't know. But yeah, how the hell are you riding without water, especially in the summer? Because it gets stupid hot fast. I don't know. I think that's when you start differentiating between what's cool and what's going to keep you from dying. Maybe that's the difference you make when you get older and you make wiser decisions. You make wiser choices in favor of staying alive. Christian Biker, thanks for coming in. Hope to see you next time.
Another thing with Camelback, a couple of years ago, me and wifey went to Key West. She wasn't aware of it. I had this stuff planned out, and I just kind of forgot to tell her where we were going. But we went down there for our 25th anniversary.
Call it what it is. You
I did not abduct you. I did not. There was no report filed. Anyway, where the Camelback comes into play, our anniversary is July 31st. I mean, it's the ass end of July. It's the hottest part of the damn summer down here. And about 10 years ago, she had a medical procedure, and a side effect of that is she dehydrates very quickly, and she can't drink a whole lot of fluids at any one time. So she's got to just pretty much constantly sip on stuff. And I've got my Camelback loaded up. She's behind me. It's summertime. I'm just wearing my vest and a t-shirt and stuff. And we're going from Tampa down to Key West. And we took the southern route where you go through the swamp and everything on the Gulf Coast side. And then we cut across.
Yep.
And I didn't think
I took
about
that
it.
route
It
too.
just never dawned on me. But whenever we finally got down to Key West that next day, because we stayed overnight in where was it we stayed at?
Naples.
Naples, yeah. We stopped in Naples on the way out because we didn't leave the house here till like 3:30 in the afternoon. But the next day, when we finally roll into Key West, I just happened to look over, and I've got this bizarre tan line on my arm from the hose on this camelback I've been wearing, with her behind me and everything. It almost looked like I was sponsored by Nike. I've got a damn swoosh on it. So sunscreen, yeah, I agree with that because it solves a lot of really awkward questions that people tend to ask you from stuff like that. Not to mention the fact that, if you're like me and you're dumb and you ride with your helmet flipped up a lot of times and everything, you get tomato face.
Oh,
Oh
no.
yeah.
Because, yeah, well, like from here down to here and where my shirt's open, well, I mean, you can see my tan line, okay? Imagine that with about 5 brighter shades of red.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Serenity Kitty wants to know if we get smarter when we get older, but that has not been my experience.
it's not so
Just saying.
much you get smarter. You start making decisions based more on how human you are. It's not that you're smarter. It's that you now realize you could die, and you
You've
base
gained experience.
and you, if that's what you want to call it, sure. But you base all your decisions around, do I really want to die today?
Sorry, Serenity Kitty. Not
So,
smarter, but
yeah.
kind of on that same line. It happens.
I don't know. A
My
lot of
take on
times
that
I kind of feel
is
like,
I
yeah.
gain more knowledge,
Go ahead, Jeff.
but I'm not getting any smarter.
I think you just try to make more intelligent decisions based on what you know or what you can remember. I have been guilty of going off on a trip and forgetting that something hurt me last time and just doing it again. I have done that, but when I can, I make smarter decisions. Keltfire just reported in and says she will not be able to make it tonight.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. One less redhead. Oh well. Guess we'll survive. All right, Gma, I think it's your turn. Put you back on the spot.
Oh, I was just thinking of something and now I forgot it. Man. Well, one of the things I do know is that as I get older, the lessons that I learn, I reflect a lot about the things that I've learned. And, I learned a lesson on my Sportster when I put it together one time. And there wasn't YouTube University back then. So I was doing something with the Sportster, and I might have told this story already. But anyway, it involved me taking the primary out and replacing my clutches. I think that's what I was doing. So I put some new Barnett clutches in. I buttoned everything back up, hop on the bike and take off. Well, I read the book, and I swear to freaking God, I did not see anything that said put oil in the primary. Because, there's a line on my 74 Sportster that goes from my oil bag to the inner primary. I didn't realize that's a vent hose. I thought it was a circulating oil thing. I didn't know. I didn't know. And if you don't know what you don't know, you just blindly go forward. So I hopped on that bike and I hammered the shit out of it all day long. Put, I'm going to say about 75 miles on it, and all of a sudden, I think it was second gear that went first. And I was like, oh, that's okay. I've got 3 other gears. So I continue to blast on. And rapidly, this situation, I know, right? So you can tell that this situation is going to quickly go from bad to worse. So then I lost another gear. So I was like, okay. So by this time I'm in the back of the pack and I pull over because I've only got like 4th gear. I think it was 4th gear. So anyway, I'm like, I'm running in my head over what did I do? How do I fix this? I didn't think it was a clutch adjustment issue because, no forward momentum. So nobody else had any ideas either because we were all a bunch of idiots back then. This was, I think it was about 84. So we parked my bike at this stranger's house that came out to see what the stupid girl was doing. So I left my bike there. We got a truck, but in the meantime, I hopped on the back of somebody else's bike. the guy I was seeing at the time would not put me on the back of his bike. I don't know why. Whatever.
You
But
scared him.
anyway, so I go back. I get my bike later, and I take it apart, and I went to drain the oil out of the primary, and of course there was no oil coming out, other than a few little chunks of like this beautiful gold and silver metal filing bits. Well, you know, yeah, it was about $1,000 lesson back then.
Oh no.
I was able to source some aftermarket, or not aftermarket, but some secondhand gears. So I had taken it to Harley Davidson, and when I was sourcing my gears, I went and I bought one of the gears from this guy that had a Sportster shop out in Sumner here. So I take it to the Harley shop. The Harley shop's like, well, we're not using that. So I go back to the guy, and I'm like, I think it was like $300 or something like that for what I bought from him. And so I went in and I said, well, you told me I could bring it back if it wouldn't work. And he goes, well, nobody ever brings me back parts. That's just what I say. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? I can't use it. I already had to pay to get a different gear to get it put back together. Well, bring it out here. I'll fix it for you. I'm like, then I have to pay them and you. So, you know, the guy looks at me and he goes, nobody has ever asked me for money back before. I said, well, are you going to give me my money back? He's like, and everybody in the shop dead quiet. And he looks at me and he smiled and he said, of course I am. And he gives me my money back and he goes, when you get it running, come around. I kind of like you. I was like, okay. He looked at me and he goes, you got a lot of balls. I was like, okay, thanks. You know, until he died, that was my very best friend. And I could go hang around his shop and he would let me fix shit. He would let me work on other people's bikes. He would make people ask me questions about bikes because he thought it was funny that I knew more than they did. So that was $1,000 lesson just because YouTube University didn't exist. But it did get me a great best friend. So I guess that the takeaway from that is that the expensive lessons are the ones you remember. And there are many meaningful things that happen in your life if you leave yourself open to it.
So in the mid 90s, late 90s, I was the only mechanic a lot of people knew up in Chicago. So I'd get all kinds of weird calls to do stuff for people. Got a call from a girl who worked in the same gym that I was like second jobbing at. And she says, my truck just stopped on the freeway. I don't know what happened. Can you come get me? And I said, yeah, sure. So I go up to look at her truck and I was like, so what happened? And she goes, I don't know. All of a sudden it started making a really bad noise and it stopped and like it started skidding. So I had to take it out of gear to get it off on the side of the road. And so I'm like, all right. I said, so did you have any lights? And she says, no, just the usual ones. I said, what usual ones? She goes, the one that says there's oil pressure and the ones that says the engine's running. And I said, no, that's not what those mean. She goes, yeah. She goes, they've been on since I bought the truck. And I went, no, that's not what they mean. And I go to pull her dipstick, and the dipstick kind of gets stuck coming out. And when I get it out, there's this hard caked shit on the bottom of it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's no oil in your engine. And she says, well, they would have told me if it wasn't. And I'm like,
no, they wouldn't have.
who would have told you? And she goes, well, I've had the tires done. Don't they check that when you get tires put on? And I'm like,
My
No.
video is like totally locked up here, so I'm gonna jump out here real quick and see if I might be able to pick something back up.
Okay.
I'll be back here in just a few minutes.
but,
Okay.
Yeah, we had to get her car drug off the side of the road. But yeah, she's like, yeah, they've always been on. And so I thought that's what they were for. So one of her girlfriends had told her when she asked about the lights, they're like, yeah, one's for engine, one says the engine's running and one says that there's oil pressure. So she thought she had a perfectly running truck.
Wow.
Funny thing is, then she went and bought the Ford Probe because she liked Ford products. And that was the car, and Gma, you might remember this, that was the one that you couldn't change your own oil. You couldn't do anything to the car yourself because the engine was sealed. And she was in on the
Yep.
class action lawsuit that said, okay, well, if we have a car that we can't work on ourselves, the dealer or the Ford Motor Company, should pay to have all the services done. That was the best car that Ford ever made, and they took it off they took it off the market because they didn't want to have to pay. And there was a class action lawsuit, like for millions of dollars, to get paid back for all of the costs to change the oil and to do change the spark plugs, change the air filter, everything.
Yeah.
But that's why the Ford Probe got taken off the market, and now you can't find them anywhere. They're gone. I think Ford probably crushed every one of them to dust.
You know, I had a Corvette one time, and as far as cars go, Corvettes, but I took that car in to get the spark plugs changed, get a tune up, that kind of crap. $350 just to change the spark plugs because they had to drop one of the engine mounts to change a spark plug. Who the fuck does that? That is just, oh, what a cute puppy.
Well, the Corvette had a class action lawsuit against it too because the old Corvette spark plugs were a special bore size. You couldn't just go buy them at the store. You had to buy them from Chevy, and they were stupid expensive.
Yep.
And that was another class action lawsuit that they made them provide the engine with a sourceable spark plug.
I love flat-faced dogs. He's so cute.
They look at somebody
Stella.
in the face with a shovel.
Oh, she's so cute.
Right?
Aw.
Oh, that's
Hi, Stella.
that's not
Stella.
that's not a flat-faced dog. My dad has
Yeah, it is.
No, my dad has Lhasa Apsos. It literally looks like somebody slammed it in the face with a shovel.
I have a Pekingese. I know a flat-faced dog, dude.
My dad's dog looked like they ran 100 miles an hour straight into a wall. Those are flat-faced dogs.
I get dogs. I feel like we get dogs that resemble ourselves, and so Stella and I both have a very flat face, tiny little button noses,
Wow.
big chest,
I wasn't going to say that. I wasn't going to say that.
and we both have little junk in the trunk. Anyways,
So I'm just opposite, yeah.
I have. This is Stella, and I also have bourbon and whiskey, and I don't have a drinking problem, y'all.
Okay. Sure you don't.
Say what you
It's
want.
your story. You can stick to it. Yeah. Where did Joe go? He's not coming back.
He's trying to straighten out his internet and interneting. But let's see who else is talking about stuff in the chat. We got sideways.
Well, just a biker girl and I were talking about getting together in the middle somewhere. That would be a lot easier if you'd come out this way, Rainey. We could all go for a ride together.
I would love
Meet
to
in the
come
middle.
out.
Yeah. Yep. I've been planning my route for June and July.
You were,
If I,
Always fun
if
when
I had
people doubt me.
what do you call it? PTO, time off of work, I'd be in. Oh,
oh,
my God.
I thought you said it. If I had to pee, what would you call it? I was like, go. We're here for a couple hours. I will. Yeah, Joe says he's having intra weebs problems. I would love to ride out there, so I'm working on a lot of stuff, trying to get time off because again, I think I've kind of hung up FA for now because I want to do other things besides spend a whole week off doing that. But it takes a really long time to ride out to California. However,
Oh,
It's
whatever.
2.5. 2.5 days.
well,
Yeah.
so the last time Steve said, "Hey, come on out here. We're going to go to Willow Springs." I was like, "Cool, I'll ride out." And then I started looking at the itinerary, and it had me driving 10 hours the first day, 8 hours the second day, and then 7 hours the third day just to get to Los
Yeah.
Angeles. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, and that's what Maps tells you. So in reality, the first day would be like 16 hours. The second day would be
Yeah.
probably 12 hours, and the third day would be another probably 10 hours. So I'm like, then I'd have to stay one day with Steve, leave the next day, and drive back and go through the whole
Yeah.
thing. And that was if weather's good. That was if you don't get stuck somewhere or traffic's bad or whatever. So I'm going to have to take off at least to make it a worthwhile trip. Even if I do drive straight through, I have to have at least 10 days off. That's counting weekends, which doesn't make it too bad. But some of us aren't retired, girl. Some of us don't have that kind of time.
I worked hard to be able to screw off this much.
I know you did. I'm just not there yet. I'm still busy screwing off, so I gotta
Yeah.
earn my way. But however, Steve said he's gonna fly me out again for a special project that Indy Ridge is working on, and I can't tell you guys about it yet, but stay tuned because it's cool and you'll fucking love it. But I'm gonna help Steve out with another project, and I think Lila kind of got in on a little bit. But he's gonna fly me out, and while we're out there, we're gonna try to take some nice rides, and we'll see what happens.
That's awesome.
Okay, cool.
Other than that, so I didn't get to tell you guys this. I told Joe about this. So I'm the supervisor out where I work, and my manager quit.
Uh-huh.
My manager quit almost 2 weeks ago, and so after the day after he quit, the owner of the company took me up in his office. He goes, "So what do you think?" I said, "What do you think about what?" He said, "Well, so what do you think about him quitting and leaving?" And I said, "Well, we'll get by." And he goes, "So do you have any aspirations on the job?" And I was like, "No, not really. I don't want to be an engineering manager because I don't want to do engineering stuff. I want to do maintenance stuff and planning and stuff like that." So
And motorcycle riding.
and motorcycle riding. But he basically just started kind of loading my plate up until I really do have the job now. So I took him
Is
aside.
he paying you accordingly?
I took him aside yesterday, the vice president and him, and said, "Hey, listen." And they were receptive to it. They're like, "You're right." And I said, "I had no intention of doing this." And as soon as this guy, though, I guess knew he was quitting when I hired in, and didn't say anything, and then turned in his notice after I'd been there for a couple months. After I kind of took over most of his job already, he left. So I'm already doing
What a
the job,
prick.
and that's what I told them. I'm like, "I'm already doing the job." I said, if you want me to keep doing this job, I really need to be compensated. And they're like, "Yeah, no problem." So along with that compensation comes another week of vacation. So if I take the management job, the manager, well, I'm already in management. If I take the manager job, it's another week of vacation.
Well, good.
So, yeah.
Worth it.
So yeah, it's a lot of. I could say it's a lot of authority to bring on and a lot of responsibility, but I'm already doing it, so I might as well take the money and the vacation, right? Does that make sense? Sort of.
Joe had a great idea, though. Tell him the truth. I enjoy having a life that doesn't revolve around my role at work.
Yep, and he's a good guy. They don't push. I love this job more than anything I've ever done. It's freaking awesome. So and they're very receptive. It's a good place to work, and my guys are good enough that once I've trained them up, I can leave them, and I don't really have to worry. So, good stuff. I told you that story to tell you this one. Yes, maybe I can come out someday and actually ride out there and spend some time. So there you go.
I do have 2 bikes, so
Somebody
Just
flew
saying.
out. Which
Yeah.
bike can I ride?
which one you want to ride?
Which one are
You
offering?
could have either one. I mean, you could ride the Road King or you could ride the Dyna. I don't care.
I really, really want. I saw a Dyna at my Harley shop when I was there the other day. So they're sucking up to
Uh-huh.
me again. So this could be kind of cool. We may open up our relationship again. But
Uh-huh.
I really want a Dyna, and I know they're cliche for the longest way. But I think now that all the Dyna Bros have switched to the Pan Am, I think the Dynas
You
are
know-
open season.
The Dynas are a wonderful, wonderful bike if you build it to suit yourself. I mean, when I first got mine, I put the low reach seat on it. I set it up to travel. I put a cup holder on it immediately.
Mhm.
I put a phone holder on it. I put two windshield bags on. I mean, I got the little canvas covers for the crash bars. There's so many things that you can do to a Dyna. Then I upgraded the front end, the suspension, and I put this new suspension on the back end. I did a stage 1 on it, and I've taken this bike cross country like 4 different times. It is a runner, man. It's
Nice.
quick, but it's like, what? Now that I have the Road King, though, it's kind of like comparing a Corvette to a Cadillac, and which is which. Of course, the Dyna is a Corvette. And even though I don't really like Corvettes, the idea is it's small and it's quick. And I take the Road King out, and it's also extremely quick and loud, but it's so comfortable to ride because there's this sturdiness there of that extra weight. Parking it, that's a whole other ball of wax. But, you know,
I disagree.
deal.
I think the Dyna is more like the Camaro.
okay, that makes sense.
But so
I like Camaros better.
I almost bought a Dyna back in 2005, and when I was in the dealer, it was the one that had the denim paint job, the denim matte paint job, and I absolutely loved it. And the guy's like, "You really don't want this bike, you know? It's basically it's a Sportster with a stretch fork and a bigger engine. You want the Street Glide?" And I'm like, "No, I really want this Dyna. That's what I really want." Because at that time it was I think they were all like $12,000 then. And I'm like, "No, this is what I want. It's in my budget. This is what I want." He's like, "You're not going to be happy with this bike, you know. You're going to want something bigger once you get it." I'm thinking, this is a fucking Dyna. This is a big twin. I'm not going to want something bigger. This is what I want. And
Yeah.
and he's like, "You're not going to like this bike." Because at the time I had the Honda Sabre, the 1100 Sabre. And I'm like, "No, this is what I want." Because you're not going to like this, you know. It's got a stiff suspension. It's a rubber mounted engine, but you're not going to like it because, you know, and I'm like, "You know what? I don't want it. You're right." As a matter of fact, now I don't even want a Harley. And so I was so pissed off, but I was literally that close to buy because I love the Dyna. The only reason I didn't get one because all of a sudden Dynas were popular. And everybody wanted a Dyna. The same reason that, you know, the Lowrider ST, everybody all of a sudden everybody wanted one. Didn't know, and I'm not a crowd follower. I'm the guy that tries to avoid everything the crowd is doing because I don't want to be looked at as a follower. So, you know, it's just crazy that everybody went from the Dyna. Dyna's cool. I want broomsticks. I want a 6-inch riser on it. And then they went to oh man, Lowrider STs are so cool. Everybody should get a Lowrider ST. This is awesome. And now those same people are like, "Oh, the Pan Am is so cool. Everybody needs a Pan Am." Like, what the fuck you gonna do with the Pan Am? Pan Am is probably, and I know there's some Pan Am lovers out there, but the Pan Am is probably the most unutilitarian motorcycle I've ever seen. It's not good on the road. It's not good on the pavement. It's not good in the dirt, and it's not good in gravel. What the hell? You're basically just paying for it to be a Harley that doesn't really do anything. At least any other bike that Harley makes is good on the highway. At least that. They might not be good in the dirt, unless you make a Sportster off-road dirter. But I don't see them. And you look at all these documentaries on the Pan Am. They're horrible performers. They're horrible. They're heat winches. They had such a hard time with cooling. And again, it's that thing with just like the V-Rod. When the V-Rod first came out, it was a perfect engine. It had perfect cooling. And Harley's like, "You know what that thing needs? A radiator that's half the size. Let's put a half." And all of a sudden, why does a V-Rod have overheating issues? Nobody knows. So anyway, I dabble. But Harley is just really good at taking an awesome motorcycle that's been designed by somebody else and fucking it up. I don't know why.
I can't argue that.
Anyway, hey everybody. I have seen the new Sportster. They can't even give these damn things away. They're dropping the price down from like $20,000 to $10,000. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
They can't even give these things away. And they were supposed to be the biggest, brightest, bestest, baddest thing. It's ridiculous. Okay, I'm off my perch now. I'm off my meds.
Okay.
Somebody else can go now.
I just took a turn. It's not my turn.
Oh, hi, it's me. Okay,
Yeah,
wait a
that would be
minute.
you. I'll be right back, though. I got to go grab a drink.
Go
I can
pee.
hear you, though.
Go pee.
Okay.
We all know she really has to go take a poop, but go ahead.
Okay, hold on. Advice that we wish we had gotten a lot sooner, right? Are we
Yeah.
getting, that's where we're at here?
Dude,
Okay.
we're running
Yeah.
off the rails here. We're all over the place, but go ahead.
What a surprise.
I wish
Mute
I would've
before
thought
you
those
pee.
guys-
Go ahead.
I'm taking a drink.
She,
She's
oh, yeah.
what?
She says she's taking a drink. We hear the water flowing.
Oh.
She says she's getting a drink. We know
She's-
better.
Taking a drink. Okay, gotcha.
Taking a shit.
I wish.
I'm taking a shit. Give me some.
Not what I heard.
Oh,
Not what I heard.
What did you
Dude.
hear? Oh.
No. So
Get in here, dear.
the advice I wish I would have gotten.
Oh,
And then
Get the bigger bike. They put me on a Sportster, and it was so hard to
yep.
learn on. Oh my God. Why do they market these towards women? They're so tall and they're top heavy and they're so freaking on all the time. I mean, so much torque per pound. I wish that they would have talked me into the bigger bike off the bat.
Yep.
That was
Or
my
an
take on Sportster.
883 Sportster. That's what they always try and sell women.
I got, the 883. And
Yep.
from there, I went to the 12. And from the 12, I went to a Road King. Holy shit, what a game changer. The Road King,
Yep.
the old man bike, the Cadillac. And I
Mhm.
rode that Road King to California. And from there, they put me on the Ultra Limited Low. And what a beautiful, I could have rode that thing. I put 60,000 miles on that bike in 3.5 years.
Nice.
Working full time.
Joe says the first P&M I saw in the flesh was one that Josh had on loan from Burt's, and it instantly reminded me of an old 70s era Ski-Doo snowmobile. I'm going to tell you a dirty little secret I got. I am in love with an absolutely ugly motorcycle, and if I could find one today, I'd buy it. The old Victories with the 92C engines on them, and basically that's what it was called, a 92C motorcycle. They were ugly as dog shit. Had a blocky engine, absolutely stupid looking. But I wanted one and still want one so bad because to me something about that bike just rang a bell with me. And it looked so big and ungainly and stupid and had overheating problems. But if I could get one today, I'd buy it. No reason for all y'all speak at once. Okay, I get it.
Joe says he wants an 883. I bet that's because he wants to take it apart and make it do something.
I love my Sportster, but it doesn't look like a Sportster anymore because that is the good thing about Sportsters and kind of Harleys in general. You can take the bike, do whatever you want to it. You can absolutely totally customize it for almost nothing because the parts are stupid cheap for it, even really good parts. And you can make it into whatever you want it to be. So I love mine. However, it could not be my only bike. No freaking way.
No, but sporties are just fun. They're fun to have, man.
They are.
Fun.
Rip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love my Sportster for a lot of different reasons.
Joe says S&S makes a 113 stroker for the Sportster.
Oh.
No.
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 Yes.
No. That bike already eats my ass sometimes because I'll forget that it doesn't have traction control or it doesn't have slip lock, and I will go to shift real quick and hit the throttle and it'll raise up on me or slide or I'll fishtail, which is funny because that bike is almost not quite half of what the BMW weighs, and that bike gets out of control on me and the BMW doesn't. Is that not crazy?
No, that's crazy.
Probably because that 950-pound pig of a BMW sits itself really well on the highway and is not going to slide off the highway for nothing. That would be cool, though. A 113? No, that's too much. That's too much.
Wife unit says I'm encouraging him and asks me not to.
You are. You are.
I like to go fast. What can I say?
Going fast is cool.
I rode a Street Bob. I remember I taught my grandson. He went and he bought one because I was going to Sturgis in 16 and he wanted to go along. And so he went and bought a motorcycle and he didn't know how to ride it. So he comes back and he asked me would I go pick up his bike for him. He said it was pretty embarrassing to go in there and tell him, yeah, I'm going to have my grandma ride my bike home and she'll teach me how to ride it. And so I did.
I think that'd be cool. Yeah,
It
my
was
grandma's
fun.
going to teach me.
Yeah. And he took to it really quickly. It took me a couple, 3 days to teach him how. And then he hopped on the bike and took off to California to get the break-in miles in. And then when he got back, he got the oil change and we all left for Sturgis. Had a great time.
Can you imagine the
What a
street
great
cred?
trip. What? That's awesome.
Can you imagine the street cred of
Yeah.
like, who taught you how to ride a motorcycle? My grandma.
Absolutely.
Runs in the family.
It does.
Like diarrhea.
Yeah. My son rides. My son rides too.
I was just gonna ask if your kids ride. That's awesome.
My daughter is still a passenger. She knows how to ride. She has a little bit of anxiety over taking the test, so she knows how though.
Yeah.
And my oldest grandson wants to learn, so he's working through some health stuff, and then I'll teach him on the Dyna.
That's so cool. Neither of my girls were really interested. One is interested in being maybe the passenger, and the other one is like, nope, no motorcycles.
Yeah.
And I ride out there. I let the kids sit, my grandkids, I let them sit on it. We start it up, we rev it, we do all the
Yeah.
fun stuff. Just
Yeah.
trying to encourage them, and I'm
Oh
seeing
yeah.
if I can buy them like some little mini dirt bikes to, race around the yard or something.
Yeah.
And my kids are like, stop.
My my 18-year-old grandson, well, actually, he and the 22-year-old, my son bought a dirt bike, and he's teaching them how to ride that one, and they seem to enjoy it, but it's not in the blood yet. And my 11-year-old granddaughter, I put her on the back of the Dyna, and there's a short of her on my channel, and I had my phone on the mount on my handlebars, and it just happened that I was recording, and you can see her in the back, and she's just all grin and helmet. It's
That's awesome.
adorable.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Hi, Joe.
Welcome
Hey, let's try this again
back.
and see what happens.
You're welcome.
So when I went
She did
to
something. I don't know what. but
when
she
I
did
went to
something.
get my license in Arkansas, went up there and I hadn't had a license in 5 years. So they're like, okay, you got to get a learner's permit first. So you get the learner's permit, you got to wait 30 days. So I waited 30 days, went back up there, and I had the old '77 BMW, the R100. And while I was up there, there was a guy up there with a Suzuki, another guy was a Kawasaki, and they both had the very colorful, the Taco Bell vests. They had the Taco Bell jackets on, with the helmets, with the mohawks on them and shit. And the lady asked me, she says, so are you a rider? And I said, yeah, I ride. I said, I haven't had a license in 5 years, but I've still been riding. I just need to get my license back. And she's like, okay. And she says, all right, I need you to go down, do a figure eight, and come back. I was like, okay, well, this is my warm up. So I go down, I do a figure eight. I look up, she's not looking at me. I do another figure eight, she's not looking. I do another figure eight, she's looking up, and she starts waving me back. And I was like, okay. I pull up beside her, ready to go on the course, and she's like, okay, back it in, kill your bike. I'm like, okay. So I back in. And then she tells the other guy, he pulls up, and she's like, okay, I need you to go down there, drive through that gravel pit, cross that 2x4, make a left at the end of the parking lot, right around the parking lot. I want you to weave between the concrete barriers and then come back to me. He like looks at her like, he gets down there, goes through the concrete or through the gravel, starts to kind of weave a little bit, goes around the corner, wobbles a little bit, comes back around to her, and she goes, yeah, you're going to have to come back in another 90 days. I can't pass you. And she's like, he goes, well, he just went to the end and came back. And she goes, he knows how to ride. So,
I remember when I went and got my endorsement. It was so funny, because we all rode dirty back then. And I was at a bar one night, and this guy had gotten stopped right out in front of the bar. What a surprise! And so they didn't have an endorsement, so they hooked his bike up on the strap, picked it up, and took off down the road. And there's his bike doing this on the back of the truck. And so I went the next day and made my appointment. And I passed,
no.
of course. Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. But back in the 80s, they could do that kind of shit because we all were just motorcycle riders.
Philip Pitts, welcome in. Philip runs the Facebook group for this area of Tennessee. Has meetups all the time. I actually met him at the video y'all saw where we went to the burger place. That was his. Oh, somebody else has to go poop. Go ahead. She didn't hear me. But anyway, Philip is asking if anybody's going to the TMMR,
Oh, okay.
the Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival. That's the
I
camp.
wish I could.
That's the camp out I went to with the group, and we actually stayed at Land Between the Lakes because it costs $120 a night to stay at the TMMR on the campground, and it was like $20 a night to stay on at the campground outside at the Land Between the Lakes. So that was awesome. Awesome riding up there. It was absolutely beautiful. So if you guys get the chance to go, absolutely go. Gma, I guess since everybody's taking bathroom breaks, I'm gonna go take one. And I'm not taking my headset with me to pee, so you just stay there.
I didn't take mine with me, so stop.
All right.
Well, I mean, I took it to the kitchen. Okay.
Busted.
So, go.
All right. So Biker Girl went just take a poop, so I gotta go take a pee. I'll be right back. Not taking the headset with me. Don't lie. It's
drink.
fine. Nobody's gonna hold it against you. No judgment. No judgment.
What are you drinking? Anything good?
I'll be right back.
A little vodka, a little water, a little strawberry lemonade, electrolyte
Ooh, yummy.
juice, a little bit of fiber so I can poop later.
Thanks for sharing.
That's it.
Nice.
Okay, a lot of vodka and a little bit of water.
Okay.
It's the end of
Yeah.
the week.
What time is
my
it anyway?
God. I'm the same
Hey.
as you. It's 6:41.
Oh, okay. Did everybody hit the like? Leave us a thumbs up.
I don't know.
There's 10 people, 11 people watching. Jeez, we've been here for an hour and a half.
Thank you.
It's no wonder I don't like talking to people.
Said no one ever.
I know, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Customer
Yeah.
service.
Yep. I went and I picked up my seat today. Called about my new helmet. They had to have it sent up from Southern California. And it got there today. Apparently my seat got there last week, and they're like, well, we sent you an email. I'm retired. I never check that shit.
What kind of seat did you get?
I got the low reach seat that they just started making for the Road King, and it's ugly as fuck.
Oh no.
Well, I thought it was going to be the solo seat like the one I have on my Dyna, because it said just like that, but for a Road King. But there's this big, like, it looks like the seat is pregnant. There's this big hump in the back part. So I was looking at it, and I'm like, I bet I could take it to an upholsterer, have them put a zipper on the back there. Then I can go in there and cut down the foam right there and use that to stash my tool roll in. Does that sound reasonable?
I think you're onto something there, and I think that we should go ahead and patent it right now.
Okay, cool. I like
Yeah.
that idea too.
I do.
Yep.
I like that. Oh, I mean, on the C-Bars, they have those little storage spots on
Right.
there. You can,
Exactly.
pull it right off
Yeah.
and put stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it'd work though. I have a vision. I just have to talk to somebody else and make my vision their reality. Can you see my sticker on Rainey's windshield back there?
Which one is yours?
The one that's on the right, it's just above the square one on the bottom by where his shoulder was. Oh, I'm pointing like you can see me pointing.
Is it white? Is it a
It's
white circle? And it's
Yes,
got like a
it's-
little compass almost. From here, it looks
Yeah.
like a compass. Okay,
Yep.
I can see that.
Yeah, the compass rose.
Okay,
If you send me your information, I'll send you some stickers.
Yes, ma'am. I put those stickers all over my trunk, my tour trunk. So then when I ride, it's covered in stickers.
I also make books, so I usually keep my stickers from my books and put them in there. I have
like
got a butt ton of books. This is the latest one I'm working on.
Oh my
I don't know if you can see it. It's got gears on the front of it and a time thing. And let's see.
Gears
This
up.
is more girly. Isn't
I
that
like
cute?
Oh my God.
Whoa. Is that young lady Chatterley?
Chatterbox, you
Okay.
dirty-minded.
I
Oh,
didn't
geez.
say anything.
Yeah. Oh, I did. You know I'm going to go there.
How nice of you to join us.
Hi.
Yeah, I know,
So,
right?
so what happened was, so I did have to go pee. Then I had to get a drink, and on the way back from drinking, I poured half of it down my leg because I tripped over the cat, and that's what happened. So there you go.
Joe!
Give me that mouse.
I got this.
What are you eating?
Okay. Let's try this.
You
again.
got this?
What are you eating?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
No,
yeah,
my husband,
I can hear
my
you.
husband made it.
What is it?
Oh,
What
thank
is
you,
it?
dear Lord, baby Jesus.
My husband made it.
I made a drink.
I
Ooh, so my liquor store.
made a drink earlier, but you accused me of using the bathroom, so.
I heard you say it was vodka and water.
I'm either going to buy a kick-ass 5.5 extender for out here in the garage, or I'm going to run some wire, one of the two.
Run a
I
wire.
would run wire.
Run
I've
wire's
always
cheap.
thought that's
Get your
better.
whining.
Wire.
Yeah, wire. I always thought that little roundy round thing meant that my signal was screwed up. Because usually it is. But I'm sitting right here on top of the router in my workroom.
Is it vibrating?
Uh-huh, I love it.
Puts off a little heat.
Stop. Stop.
Giving away your secrets.
Yep. Oh.
Joe's got no volume.
They're deactivating the computer.
There he
There
is.
he is.
I
There he
know.
is.
I hate when he's got no volume.
I hate when that happens. I hate it.
Yeah. So, Joe, your wife said that I can stay with you guys when I come over there.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're more welcome.
He
Yes,
can't talk
absolutely.
back.
She has spoken. The tribe has spoken.
No,
Yep.
seriously. I mean, hey, doors open, come in, okay? If we make an
Okay.
offer, trust me, we mean it. We know what we're getting into here.
Oh,
If we
Lord.
don't make an offer.
Yeah, if we don't make an offer, stay the hell away.
Oh yeah, hell, we've had a lot
Well, I'll
of
be on my road king when I come over.
we've had a
They'll
lot
be
of
till
weird people
October,
sleep on our bed. We've had quite a few moto friends sleep in our spare bedroom
Yeah.
and on the couch. Depends how well we like you, whether you sleep on the couch or in the bed. So
Yeah. I don't care where I sleep as long as it's not beside the road.
we have a big backyard too. Might have a tent camp out at some time.
Yeah, I don't do that.
So, off subject, where's the best place that you camped spontaneously and got the best sleep?
Ooh. I remember when I was coming home from Sturgis on my Sportster in 90. It had been a rough trip. I was traveling solo, and when I left Sturgis, I wound up with a couple of guys that I just kind of knew were going to the same area, right? So we were running through the rain for like a couple of days trying to get back to Washington. And so we wound up at this clubhouse in somewhere in Idaho. And I'm not going to be more specific than that. So we roll up. I was dead tired. I put my kickstand down. I got out my tarp and my sleeping bag, and I rolled everything up around me, and I conked out for 7 hours.
Mhm.
I woke up to somebody trying to see if I was dead.
love
I
it.
slept so good that night, though, except for the part where the kickstand was kind of gouging me in the side. But,
And
you know,
too tired to care.
exactly. Yep.
I have literally got my best sleep. I think I was somewhere on the Central Coast. I was
Uh-huh.
looking for a spot to pull over, and I was going along this huge, what looked like a privacy fence. I thought it was a gated community, and I was like, you know
Uh-huh.
what? I'm just gonna pull over. I'm gonna get
Yep.
up really early and get out before anyone finds me. Slept so good. Never slept that well. Got up in the morning early, got up, packed up my gear, pulled out. As I turned the corner and I'm going past the gates, it was a cemetery. Oh my God. I slept so good.
Well, that's why you
Yeah.
slept good. Nobody's making any noise.
Yeah.
They sleep
Slept
like the dead. Yeah. So here's my sleeping good story. So me and a friend of mine, Shaggy, we decided we're going to go up to Lake Elizabeth in Virginia and camp out. So we pull into a Walmart because he needed to get a sleeping bag. Well, there's these two girls out in the parking lot. And we go back to we saw them going in, and we came back out, and they're like, "Do you know anything about cars?" And we're both mechanics in the Navy, and we're like, "A little bit."
No.
And they're like, "Well, our car has a really bad leak, and it's rattling. It's got an exhaust leak." So we go up under it. So right off of their header, their entire they'd hit something and ripped their exhaust pipe off. So we're like, "Well, we can get some exhaust seal. We can seal this up for you." And they're like, I said, "Where are you guys headed?" They're like, "Well, we're going up to a different lake. We're going up there because one of her dads was up there, or whatever." And they're like, if you make sure we get up there and follow us up there, we have a camp up there. Y'all can just camp on our campsite." So go, okay, cool. So we get them all the way there. We get there, and the dad is in a bad mood because his other daughter didn't come, and I think it's like 4th of July weekend. So he's like, "Well, you can't stay here." And we're like, "All right, well, where the fuck are we going to stay?" Because our campground is like 50 miles in the other direction, and now it's like 8 o'clock at night. So we go back up to the visitor center, and the guy up front's like, "Yeah, y'all can sleep down by the lake. There's no campgrounds because it's 4th of July weekend." He's like, "There's no actual plots open, but if you sleep down by the lake, it's open. You can free camp down there." So I'm like, "Holy shit, we're going to sleep down by the damn, by this lakefront that's going to be all swamp and shit." And we get down there, and it's this beautiful, grassy fucking lakeside. So we get down there and camp, and it was freaking awesome. It was the middle of July, or first weekend of July, but it was gorgeous. We're sleeping on grass. It was nice and cool because we're down by the lake. And we literally did sleep like the dead all night long. It was absolutely awesome. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Good deal.
Who else is in the camp? Who else in the chat tonight?
I am not a fan of camping. Just not.
I love camping. It is getting harder as I get older, but I love camping.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, the reason I don't really care for motor camping when I'm traveling is because it adds an hour at night and an hour in the morning to set up and tear down. Then you have to stop and you have to think about your food before you get to camp. You have to think about firewood and all that other shit. And I'm not saying I wouldn't camp. It's just a pain in the ass to have to carry all that extra stuff with you when a motel is
If you can,
or Bunka-Biker.
If you
I
can,
would also do Bunka-Biker.
if you can
Bunka-Biker,
find a
I
KOA,
love that.
if you can find a KOA, cabins are awesome. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but that's about the same kind of money as a motel over here.
But
So,
cabins are usually
you know.
down by the lake, and if you decide to go skinny, if you decide to stay for a while, and you're close to something cool. You're not just like in the middle of a city, and the closest cool thing is the Mexican restaurant that's next to the hotel. You're actually in somewhere nice and
Maybe.
cool and pretty, and just saying, you get more for your money.
Okay. The part that I don't really care about in a KOA situation is that they usually seem to think that the best thing they can do for their driveways and their camping spots is put the deepest layer of gravel possible everywhere.
Sold.
And yeah, and then there's always children out playing in the middle of everything. So you have a combination of gravel, which is a bitch to stop on anyway, and children playing in the middle of the road in front of you, which is also not a good thing. So, just saying.
Culture.
I say, let the strongest survive. Darwin had
I don't
theories.
have that kind of insurance.
Yeah, Darwin had theories for a reason. Yeah, but again, you're right next to a lake. Lots of rocks. You never have
You're
to.
not going to win this one.
never have to
Ray.
find the
You're
kids.
just
No.
not.
You never have to find those kids.
Not.
I'm just saying.
No gravel. No.
Damn,
Yeah,
Gravel and
Damn
Clivens.
gravel.
Whatever. Huh.
Had to lay her down. God bless. God bless. Was out cranking my hog and I rolled through some Clivens, right into some gravel. God bless.
Remember, we're here because you invited us.
You're here because you love me. Don't lie.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I love the support. No, it does not go unnoticed. You guys are helping me out here, and I appreciate it.
All hail Darwin. Yeah. Remove all safety labels and signs and let the problem sort itself out. I am actually a big believer in that.
Oh, I do.
Oh, I know.
So
Who's surprised about that?
I had a friend who was a court stenographer, and she got to work.
Uh-huh.
She got to work the Whammo case where the guy dove into the pool and broke his neck.
Oh no.
And I don't know if you guys remember, for about 5 years straight there, all of the pools, the kiddie pools, came with these giant symbols on them that says "Do not dive." They were gigantic on the side of all the pools, and it slowly went away.
Yep.
But
Yep.
Wemo won the case. This dude literally dove into the swimming pool and tried to sue because he said he didn't know he couldn't dive into the pool.
What a moron.
What saved them is when he got to the hospital, they took his BAC, it was 0.21.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, people are kind of dumb. Either way.
Is he from California?
No, he was actually, oh, well, I don't know. She lived in Phoenix, so
Close enough.
I don't know. No, if it's in
Are
California,
you thinking you know him?
if it would have been in California, he would have sued for contracting staph because nobody told him he couldn't shit in the pool.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
that too. Over signage pollution. There's so much signage.
What's weird is some of the stuff
Nobody looks at it.
some of the stuff California does is so good, and oh my god, why don't all the states do this? And then they're like, yeah, you can shit on the sidewalk if you want to. It's fine. The stupidest thing I ever saw was a restaurant guy who got fined because there was shit on his sidewalk. Because a homeless guy shit on his sidewalk and he couldn't make the guy leave the front of his restaurant.
Mhm.
But he got fined for it.
I
But the
think I'm
cops-
about to lose. I think I'm about to lose the power on my earphones
That's
because
what you
everything is
say.
going weird.
Oh, that's your excuse. Okay. Everything's going weird, all right. I don't know if it's your
Yeah.
headphones.
No, it's like the audio is going really weird.
Lost on the
Weird
road. I
as
didn't
usual.
see you. Our buddy Lost on the Road with Road King Kong
You
is
try
in.
pushing a button or
Walking
two.
in.
Is anybody else getting that?
Is
No.
that better?
The weirdest label I've ever seen on anything was a curling iron that was a Chinese curling iron that said do not use for the other use.
You can imagine what somebody probably did with
You
that.
have to imagine some of these things. Or like, the hair
No, really,
the
I
hair
don't
dryer
want to.
hair dryer that says do not use in the shower. So
Wait, what about the ones that say like clothing and on the washing instructions it says do not wash with children in it?
yes. Or the dry clean bags that says do not let children play inside bag. It's like
Yeah.
here's the weird part. So I knew
What
a
else
guy
are they gonna do with it? I mean, really?
Well, I knew a guy that worked for OSHA, and when I was out at the steel mill, he said for every OSHA law, there's a body bag. No matter how stupid it sounds, if OSHA writes a law, it's because somebody either died or was horrifically maimed doing the thing they're telling you not to do.
I believe that.
And that brought a whole lot of things to light for me, that how stupid people can possibly be.
It's all the old wives' tales too. Like, don't run with scissors. It comes from somewhere.
Or
There's
the-
a reason why.
Or the ladder, there's ladders, A-frame ladders that say do not lift with forklift while person or climbing ladder. And it's like, there's no way. And then you see these then you see these pictures of people lifting a ladder with a forklift. And it's like, who does what, huh? There's people, here's your sign. Here's your sign.
That's exactly it right there.
Live, laugh, toaster bath. Yes, I love that t-shirt. Live, laugh, toast, with. Yeah, all those signs exist because people have done it. Yeah. Don't use toaster while bathing. How else are you supposed to eat in the tub? I mean, what are you supposed to use? The microwave? Do what you gotta do. Oh, the microwaves. Do not run with door off. How do you? Okay. Anyway, hey everybody.
Hey,
Like the ladies have said, if you haven't already hit that like button, please do, no matter how stupid we're getting over here. So anyway, all right, Gma, give us one more good one for the road.
Can you hear me?
Of course I can hear you.
Oh wow. Okay. One more for the road. Oh, if you're traveling, you don't need to pack everything in the kitchen sink. I've discovered that there's always a Walmart or someplace convenient that you can buy things. And the only limit is you just need to remember, according to my mechanic, your hairbrush and a credit card. I would advance also that you should bring a toothbrush. I have discovered that motels will give you these items if you ask. But I like to bring at least a toothbrush because then if they don't have them, you can at least use a toothbrush and kind of like get the top layer off, But sometimes they have toothpaste and stuff. So, yeah, there's always a store around the corner. And get gas in your bike before you need it.
I say get the gas before you get to the hotel because the last thing you want to do is first thing in the morning is to put gas in the bike when you're pissed off.
Oh,
and
I
tired.
know, right? I hate that part.
Also,
Yeah.
lucky for me, the toothbrush can also double as a hairbrush because I don't need much of anything. So
Yeah, mine is pretty much just always in a braid or a club. It's just easier. You have pretty hair, just a biker girl.
thank you. Oh, her. No.
Pretty hair.
I thought you were talking to Rainey.
I was like, I
No.
do. I have the shit
He
going
has
on.
really nice eyebrows.
He
They're very
does.
well-groomed. Yeah,
Yes, they are.
yeah.
Why, thank you, darling.
Yeah, most people
It
go to the
looks the
barber.
same whether I'm working or riding. It's same hairstyle.
I have one of those high tail holders, and I've had it for like 4 years now. And they always say in the off season you should take it off and let it relax or whatever because there's some spring in there. And it's like I never ever took it off or let it relax because if I'm not relaxing, it shouldn't. So it finally the other day gave up the ghost.
Oh
Serenity Biker says, does the like button have a warning label? No, but it should.
It should.
It should say, warning, if you click this, you're just going to encourage us to do more dumb shit. So,
Yep.
welcome
Also, check
welcome to
your
the
oil
channel.
and tires before you shut down for the night. Joe, that is a very good point. But I also want to remind you that if you've got those Fobo tire TPS systems, tire pressure system, you might want to try to remember to learn from my mistake and turn off the alarm on those little buggers. You can set it so that it will tell you what your tire pressure is, although you need to know what your tires run at hot before you go out and run some hot tires, because you'll scare yourself unnecessarily. And if your alarm is set to go off at a certain point, it's going to scare the shit out of you because that thing is loud. I mean, really loud. Yes.
Have I
So
got
check your tires.
have I got a video for you coming up soon?
No.
Yes, I already told you about it. Coming back from the Natchez Trace, I pulled over to put
that one.
I pulled over to put rain gear on, and apparently while I was pulled over, I hit a nail. And shortly after, so on the BMW, first you get a caution triangle, then your back tire comes up as a display, and the back tire is red. And the next thing you get is this giant flashing red triangle, and then a giant flashing exclamation point. I missed the first two, and the first thing I saw was everything on my dash flashing red.
Oh my.
It happened to us before on the way to the Jack Daniels trip, and when it went off, it literally looked like the entire dash was on fire. So it happened again on this one, but when I looked at it, I didn't have a gash in the tire. It was just a small hole because I hit a nail. So I checked the air. Air looked okay, but put a little more air into it. But what's funny was the air only leaked out until it got down to like 32 psi, and then it stopped coming out. So because the hole was so tight. But then I put air in it, and the air would leak out in the next 5 minutes to get back down to 32 psi. So I'm thinking, well, my TPMS just isn't working. Well, something's weird going on here. It went to the next day. I had to put soap on it to find the nail. Anyway, long story short, yes, when your entire dash is flashing red, it's unnerving. And it makes a low buzzing sound, which is also unnerving.
In the morning when it's cooler out versus once it warms up, and so it'll say that you're low on tire pressure, and then once you warm up, you're not. So, like, do you put air in? Do you put air in?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't.
I stopped.
I used to fuss, and I traveled with a lady once who would chase like the perfect air pressure in her tires to the point where she was like 3 pounds. She wanted to put 3 pounds. I'm like, no, you don't need to bother with that because we're going to go out and we're going to get rolling, and then you're going to be over. So we'll have to stop again. You know who I'm talking about, Rainey. And but we played that game for a cross-country trip, and I think you know who I'm talking about too. Yeah, but that's a story for a different day because I got to get off of here.
Okay.
Oh,
Gma, glad having you on. So final thoughts, Gma.
my final thoughts:
Final thoughts.
be nice to each other. We're not here for as long as you think.
Damn.
Lovely. Spoken like a true old person.
Well, I mean,
We're all getting there.
Ah.
No. I admitted earlier, we're all getting there. I think that's when you start getting smart, is the day you realize you're not invincible, and you start thinking, I could do something to fuck myself up for good. Maybe I should be careful.
I could. I think that all the time. I haven't yet, but good on me.
I don't
Time
heal
is
like I
fleeting.
used to. Yeah, I don't heal like I
Yeah.
used to. Better be fucking careful.
Enjoy your time.
Absolutely. Biker girl. Final
Or your
thought.
cat, who is currently destroying my chair.
Time is short. Enjoy it while you're here. No, there is that too, because time is short and you never know, right? But
You don't. You really don't.
take the ride, buy the bike, get out there.
Yep.
Right?
The food. Yep.
Go out there and make the friends. And it's hard sometimes, but the truth is this biker community is not as scary as it looks from the outside.
Yeah. True that.
It's funny
How about you, Rainey?
Yeah, it's funny how you can walk up to a group of people, and I do it all the time, introduce yourself, start making jokes, and all of a sudden everybody's your friend.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it's so much easier to have friends. It may not be easier to make the friends, but it's so much easier to have friends than to try to make enemies. And I've talked about this before. I've gone to rallies where I went there with 4 people, and I left 3 days later and knew the same 4 people. And that's just no fun. So I talk to one. I've got that face that looks like I'm always mad and pissed off, and really all I'm thinking about is where I'm going to eat next. Is all I'm really thinking about. So it's easier to introduce yourself to people and smile a lot and say nice things and make friends because one, you never know when you're going to need a friend. Absolutely. And
True that.
You'll always
That's
need your
true.
friends. You'll never need another enemy. So make as many friends as you can. And with that, let's find our porno song to exit for the
Oh
night.
boy. I love a good porno song.
I love these porno songs. Let's see. I think
It's
that's,
International Female Ride today.
I think that's a
Ride
good
day
one.
tomorrow.
Are you going out riding?
Oh yeah. But I ride every day anyway, so you know.
I kind of used to. I'm probably not going to ride tomorrow.
Well, I don't drive my car, so I ride by default anyway. So, you know, every day is IFRD for me.
I have not owned a car in 15 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
You live in an area you can do that easily.
Used to. It's pretty cold. It's rainy up here, but
Yeah.
I'm just still not quite ready, I guess.
I,
It's getting there. It's getting there.
I
Yeah.
gave my car away after I put probably 5,000 miles on the car in 4 years, and I thought I'm gonna give it away. So
Yeah.
gave it to my daughter. But let's see what we have here. I'm hard finding a good song. No, it's hard finding a good song. I'm not. Anyway, song. Where's song?
Powered by Riverside FM.
Whoa. Okay then.
There we go. That one doesn't want to play. I don't know why. Well, let's not play that one. Well, let's play this one then. Bow, chicka, wow, wow. All right, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and oh, I almost forgot. Sunday night, I'm having a live interview. So if you want to show up and meet a girl who rides an Indian, G-Ma, shut up. Come on in and watch the interview. So for now, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye from
See you
Joe
later.
because he couldn't get back on. But
Love
see
you.